Should be back from ads now. Okay, back to the coding. Whee! Alright. So, what do we want to do next here? It would be nice to be able to... What's good to do? Right. So I was going to figure out, there's something somewhere where we're parameterizing the duration of the silence detection filter. Like, it should be... No, that's not helpful. Let's move this over. Here we go. Okay. So in the front end, in the data provider, we have some custom methods for invoking some of our APIs. So like for silence detection. So we're just passing body here. We actually have a type for this input. Okay. Sure. So let's look at the API, because I feel like there was a parameter that the API took that maybe I didn't include here. So in the silence detection API, we have app state, and then we have detect segment input takes noise and duration as optional values. And so detect segment is kind of the lower level API to like just process a single file. And then we have another API that processes a whole stream, so it has set of files by dispatching that out to the task API. But this struct that defines the payload for this API doesn't include the noise or duration values. It could, though. I don't think there's a way to there probably is with macros or something, to be like, oh, here's some common stuff. And then, like, there's probably a way that I'm not familiar with to avoid this copy paste. But I think this is fine. And then, yeah, we have the body here. And what we can do is we can just do this. Was that okay? Oh, right. So I mentioned this at the beginning of the stream. Between streams, I moved to using WSL, like having everything inside WSL, and I suspect a lot of my extensions are not installed inside of this that need to be installed. So all the Rust related things, maybe. Let's see. So Rust Analyzer. It's defined to run in the remote extension host. Please install it in the... Yeah, okay. I wonder if there's a good way to find all of those that are like that. There's recommended stuff. Heroku. Is that still a thing? Okay. Things that are installed. What's this button do? Install local extensions in WS... Okay, there we go. Perfect. That one... And... I have a lot of extensions. Which ones do I need? That's probably good. Okay. So, if I save, is Rust Analyzer going to work? Go to output. Oh yeah, we probably don't have Rust installed inside of WSL. Okay. Well, let's see. Install Rust Ubuntu. If you're a Windows subsystem for Linux user, run the following in your terminal and follow the on-screen instructions. Yeah, that just curls Rust up, right? And then what could possibly go wrong? Alright, what does this say? This will download Rust, yada 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 yada. Current installation options. Proceed. Rust is installed. Great. Yeah, we can do that. All right. So if I save now, if I save now, nope, doesn't like it. Do you bacon? Cargo bacon, that is. Someone has mentioned that on stream. Someone asked about that. Now, and I remember looking it up. I don't remember what it was. Background Rust code check. I see. So is this like a alternative to Rust Analyzer? It's a glorified cargo watch. Yeah. Okay. That seems good. I have mostly just been relying on Rust Analyzer and the extension. Failed to load linked project. Project root must point to cargo.toml or rustproject.json. It doesn't seem to like that. It doesn't replace. You can ask it to just build, run, or run tests when you save. It doesn't replace Rust Analyzer. Okay. Wrong button. Check the current project. Interesting. Yeah, maybe. That is a good point. We'll try that in a second. I'm curious about something else though. Bacon? Nope. Okay. You can hit question mark while running bacon. Yeah. Well, hey, let's give it a shot. What are we doing here? Cargo install locked. Does this? Yeah, it is a CLI tool. Yeah. All right. Yeah, CC. Hold on. Sudo apt install. Never had an error. Yeah, so this is a pretty fresh WSL, like Ubuntu install. Ubuntu Yeah, you're lucky. I would. Ideally, like I'd have a Linux workstation that I do the coding streams from. But yeah, build essential. That's what I'm looking for. Like, I'm pretty sure this WSL install I've not installed anything in before. Alright, so if we go back to here. Let's see if this works now. Do all the Docker images consume a lot of memory? I don't think so. So we are at CPU. Can we see overall memory? There we go. About a gig. Docker Scout. I don't think I've used Docker Scout before. It looks like it's dependencies, vulnerabilities, remediation. I'm afraid. Here we go. So yeah, 1 high, 2 medium, 17 low. Dev environments is a whole thing as well. I've not used, I mean, I've used the Docker desktop stuff on stream, but that's about it. Interesting, it says of 30 gigs. Is that I have 64 gigs of total RAM. Okay, it looks like this is gonna work now. We'll get this going and see how it goes. Is the budget I gave to Doc that could be true. That could be true. Resources. Resource saver. Not sure where that setting is, but could be true. All right. Hey, look, bacon installed. So if we run bacon, bacon. Now it's kind of interesting what this is going to do. Oh, in Docker Hub Mac, it's Resources tab and Advanced. It could be Advanced. Was there an Advanced tab that I just overlooked? Resources. This is Advanced. Nope. Not there. All right. So problems. All right. It's kind of interesting anyway because glowing telegram, I guess, I mean, does have a cargo.toml at the top level. Oh yeah, because we have the members. That's right. Once bacon has compiled, hit question mark or H. check all job. No, it doesn't like it. We need something else installed here. Package config utility to find OpenSSL. Okay. Sudo apt install. Ah, there is something. Cool. You often to run unit tests continuously. Still doesn't like me. I don't have OpenSSL. No, no worries. This is what this is all about. We're just trying things, doing things. It's much more exciting than just me sitting here hacking away at something for hours. But yeah, so that didn't work. But we'll try later. I do like the idea of having something that's, well, one, I don't have any unit tests for the Rust code, so it's not going to help there without tests. Let's try restarting VS Code though. See if that fixes things. But if I did, that would be really nice. Something that I have liked using on the clip mode dislinting. Could be good. Something that I like in kind of JavaScript TypeScript land is Wallaby.js for like iteratively running unit tests based on the code that you change. Like as you change code, it reruns the unit test and it gives you inline feedback. All right, that didn't seem to fix Rust Analyzer though. Wallaby.js. I think I have the extension. Wallaby. There you go. It's not installed in WSL. We don't need that right now. Yeah. So it will not only show you like output of stuff, like when you're in the test, writing the test, it'll show you like console output in line, but you can also see test results. Like you can see passing or failing lines in the actual code under test. Yeah, there is a free trial and you have to pay for it. And I don't think that's something I've used on stream. But it's something I use at work. Alright, let's see if we can figure out why Rust Analyzer is not happy with us. A lot of complaints about the same thing, it looks like. Common API lib cargo.toml. Project root must point to cargo.toml or Rust project. Failed to discover workspace. Yeah, maybe. Rust Analyzer? Invocation location? Probably root. We'll restart now. Yep, exactly, for the VS Code plugin. Let's try going back to a Rust file. Nope, still doesn't like it. That's interesting. Why? Failed to load link project. Project root must point to cargo.toml or Rust project.json. What is it about this file? This wasn't a problem before. Why is it a problem now? Is common API lib inside of the Oh, it's not. Maybe that's why. Although it was working fine without this before, so I'm not sure why it would need to be in here now. Project root must point to cargo.toml or... Huh. Project root? I'm not sure what that means. It's kind of annoying that we fixed one problem with working on the front end by moving into WSL, but seem to have caused a different problem. Good autocomplete there either. Huh. This seems to be a general cargo problem about OpenSSL. We should probably fix that. Let's see, Ubuntu. libSSL dev. There we go. Sudo apt install. All right. So on the one hand, hopefully this is going to fix cargo build, but maybe this also fixes bacon. Maybe this is the root of the actual issues. Speaking of which, like if there's not a problem here, I'm going to undo that change. There we go. Get rid of that. Let's see how this goes. How did we get here? So we were... Oh, right. So the... you quit your browser by accident. What did you change fix? So I tried to do cargo build just by itself. And the package that seemed to have been missing was libSSL dev. So that made that work. So I'm going to guess that now bacon works. Excuse me. So if I hit, what was that? You suggested modes, unit tests, Clippy mode is linting, question. So Clippy job is C. All right, we got things. we got 26 warnings, but no errors. All right, cool. Now, did that fix Rust Analyzer? Probably not. No, I don't know what's going on with that, but that's fine. It builds, and I guess bacon is not giving us any errors. That might mean something. Right. So the thing we were doing is we're making it so that the top level API for silence detection accepted these noise and duration parameters. Hey Jake, welcome in. How's your Sunday going? The coffee is kicking in for me. My usual 2 shots of espresso. Right, so I don't think we need to change anything else. You just got out of bed like 10 minutes ago, but it's like 3 hours later for you than it is for me. Oh, that's nice. You went to sleep at like 6 a.m. Well, that'll do it. Dumb question, but did you install Rust Analyzer? Well, that's an interesting question, because it seems like this is running Rust Analyzer. Like, I'm assuming that's what this output is, but I did not explicitly install Rust Analyzer inside of WSL. Is that something? Which Rust Analyzer? Let's take a look at the extension. Right? Rust Analyzer. Provide support. It's recommended and replaces. Quick start. Install Rust Up. Install the Rust Analyzer extension. That's this. So there shouldn't be anything else. Yeah. I think it maybe doesn't like our project setup in some way, right? So we have a bunch of separate crates, like each API backend. I did install it in addition locally. Is it just like Rust Analyzer? Or Analyzer or something? I'm not gonna bother right now. It's fine. It's probably fine. Just ignore the big red thing down here. Maybe open a simple Rust project to see if the extension works at all. I could do that. Well, maybe later. At some point, you just gotta like move on. Yeah. We have bacon. Does bacon do? Check all job. What does that do? C for clipping. There you go. Yeah, 26 warnings. But no errors. Virtual workspace defaulting to resolver equals 1 despite one or more workspace members being in edition 2021, which implies resolver 2. To use the 2021 resolver, specify workspace.resolver equals 2 and the workspace roots manifest. You think that's important? I have no idea. Let's not accidentally open the OpenAI or OpenAI key though. Well, it's been fine thus far, but we can try it. So no, that didn't fix that. So C for clipping. Okay, well that's going to do things. Anyway, I think, so this should allow us to be able to pass noise and duration optionally to the API. And then in the data provider in the front end, it just takes whatever is passed in as the payload. But we do have like a interface here. So we can add that to the interface as well. No. Copilot trying to make up things. So this is noise and duration. Wait, how do we do this? I think we can, this can be optional. Yeah, there we go. And duration. So noise is like the kind of the floor of like decibels that it's looking for silence at, and duration is kind of the minimum amount, like the duration of a silence for it to detect. There we go. Yeah. So in TypeScript, you can just say question mark, and that'll make this an optional field. So it'll be number or undefined. So that's basically the same thing as saying undefined. Right, number or undefined. And if it's this way, it's also number or undefined. Except, I don't know if that actually has a change in behavior in terms of like not specifying noise as a field at all. Like, I think it should be the same, because if it's number or undefined, then not specifying the field in like an object complying with this interface would be the same as not, passing undefined. Okay, so in the UI, then we can also pass in those values. Think about how we want to do that. Been system programming for about 30 years, but only started learning WebTech last year. Have yet to look at TypeScript. I mean, it's a language that I've been using for a number of years now. Yeah, there's always lots to learn, isn't there? Before TypeScript, we were, my team was using JavaScript with flow types, which was like Facebook's optional typing thing for JavaScript that kind of hit end of life. everyone went to TypeScript, and so but having optional types like opt-in types for things is really nice. And it makes it so that you have a lot of flexibility for like prototyping and stuff, of like, here's an object, it has some stuff in it, I'm not exactly sure how it's going to work yet, but then start like locking that down, or going the other way, saying I know exactly what the shape of this data is going to be, and then using that for like, either autocomplete or large language model kind of autocomplete stuff is really nice. Okay, so if we want to be able to change that value, I guess for right now, let's see, what does the UI look like? Let's go back to the UI. Right, so we have this UI, and it's functional. So we have this button, start detect silences, and what I need here is something so that I can customize the behavior, right? So we just, with some detours, got some stuff in so that we can pass in some parameters for how the silence detection works. So we need something here to be able to, change it in the UI. Maybe just like a number input. I'm less interested now about changing the the noise floor. I want to change kind of how long of a silence it's looking for, to hopefully cut out on some of the some of the noise, some of the silence noise, right? These little bits here I don't care about. Alternatively, I could not do that and then have something here in the front end that is just looking at the larger silences instead of doing that. What are we trying to do? Let's step back to that, because that's gonna, there's no point of doing something. There's no point of implementing something if it's not helping us do what we want to actually do. This right now is kind of a prototype. Like all of this stuff probably doesn't need to live in a UI that looks like this. It needs to be more of a kind of a more comprehensive thing, right? So right now I just wanted some kind of visualization to see the data. But what we want to be able to do is we want to have something that's going to look at the silences and then allow us to turn the sections between the silences into episode records. I think that is probably the next step here, because that's what I do manually, right? So when I'm doing this manually, I will take all of the video clips from the stream, I'll drop them into DaVinci Resolve, I will look through all of them to find where the breaks are in the stream, so basically where these blue segments are, and then I take those video clips and I put them into a timeline when I'm calling an episode here in this model. And I do that all in Resolve. So I want to make that happen here. What do I actually need to do that, right? I don't think I necessarily need, like, a thing we could do, right? A thing we could do is make it so that the silence detection only finds the breaks, the big breaks, by tuning it. And then have something that just says, okay, well, here are the breaks, and then makes the episodes. Or we can make something more interactive, right? Where we actually have something that lets us pick where we want to segment up the videos. And this doesn't have to be perfect either. At the end of the day, this is going to end up in something that's going to allow us to adjust exactly where the video starts and stops and all that stuff. Whether that's in like a video editor, or maybe we code something in like an episode editor or something. So I don't think this has to be perfect. What this does need to do is this needs to be bigger. As like a UI element, this needs to be visually larger. Right now, what's controlling the size of this, I think, is the... what is controlling the size? Is it this div? What's controlling the size of this SVG element? Where is the width of this coming from? Like, it looks like this div. Okay, and this tab panel. I mean, the tab panel itself is full width. Help me understand here. What's going on? Okay, so this is a flex item. Okay, yeah, 379 pixels wide. Why? Why so narrow? Flex items. Huh. Flex direction column. Display flex. interesting. Okay, so this is a flex item, this div. Hey, Brainless, good morning. Or whatever the time of day it is for you. How's it going? I'm trying to remember how to CSS right now. Oh, hey, look, that works. Oh, we can see much finer detail now. Excuse me. What if can we do that to just the SVG? Doing all right, trying to boot up my brain to do some Elixir learning. How are you? I'm doing well, I'm trying to do some basic things here with CSS and SVG, and then hopefully get to the point where we can actually have this be interactive, so we can kind of move on from this. I mean, I don't have any. I like front end work, but I'm more interested in kind of like getting to the point where we can actually use like the OpenAI stuff that we started working on and other things, and like actually make it do stuff rather than, you know, rather than just having raw data, actually, you know, doing things with it. What if we do width 100% on the SVG element? Okay, so it's that. Is it the parent? Which div was it here that? Oh, it was this div. Okay, I think I can do something else. What is that supposed to be doing? Which thing? Okay, so let's close all the extra things here. Let's go back to the timeline. So the timeline component. Oh, here we go. So what we need to do here is just say like, oops, width. Yeah, there we go. Exactly, Copilot. Copilot has it. I was kind of hoping that we would get some auto reload. What if I refresh? Okay, did that just not work? Or, yeah, with the 100%. No, that didn't work. It's the parent. This one. It's showing silences. Exactly. It's showing a lot of silences. So what I think what I want to do next, once I actually get this to not be so tiny, is to make it so that we can drag and drop some kind of handles on the timeline. Something to select the major silences to use to segment the video. And take that and use that to then create episodes. Now, I don't know. I don't think... I mean, I guess this is fine as a place for it to live. I think at some point I'll need to step back and think about like overall how the UI is supposed to work. I've been trying to avoid a lot of that worrying about the UI by using things like React Admin and kind of just like having it built for me. But right now, I just need to figure out how to make this work. And I think the key here is in the silence, in this UI element, we need... This is where that width 100% needs to be. At least that's what, when I changed the width to 100%, I'm pretty sure this is the element. This div is what I had changed. So I think, yeah, there we go. All right. Now we can fine tune this a little bit, I think, as well. If we change the height, does this actually change anything? I don't think it does it? Oh right, I bet it. Hold on. So if I change, there we go. So the issue is that the it's not about this is not a pixel value. It's about the aspect ratio between this value and the duration. So like if I made the height also the duration, then we would get a square, right? So really what I want to do is I want to say something like const aspect ratio, aspect ratio. So if I have this, does that work? Times one of these things is there we go. No, divide by. What am I doing here? Yeah, so I could do something like that, but that's that's like a video aspect ratio. What I want is probably something like 10, maybe 20 times divided XOR one of the things. Some kind of binary operation. I'll be on my way. Might be back later. Thanks for the stream. Hey, thanks for coming by. Yeah, I'll probably be going for about another hour or so today. But yeah, I stream. I do these coding streams every Sunday, and then I have like streams where I'm doing more like gaming stuff, some modded Minecraft and other things throughout the week. We're doing kind of a viewer suggestion thing in the Discord for the Friday stream. I'm waiting for someone to suggest on Discord doing some coding on a Friday, and so we do like a poll at the beginning of that stream. Here's a link to the Discord. All right, so things I want to accomplish in our remaining hour. Things I want to accomplish in the remaining hour are, I want to be able to select silences. Let's make a list. Things have been kind of aimless here this far. Kind of been wandering between things, but let's see. Select segments. I want to be able to zoom in. I want to be able to pan around. So those are all things that are helpful for, some general kind of timeline functionality. Maybe we'll use this for other things as we go on. But I think that'll be good to be able to select the segments, and we'll need some way to like visualize which ones are selected. And yeah, how are we going to do that? How are we going to represent the segments that are selected? Well, we have segments, which is a list, so we could probably keep track of indexes in the segment array. That is probably fine in this context. If we were in a context in which the list of segments might change significantly, like if user interaction would change the data, then using indexes would be problematic. And what we probably need to do is either use like the start and end, like keep a list of the actual segments, or have IDs on the segments or something like that. But we don't need to worry about that here because the list of segments isn't going to change in the context of like the life cycle of interaction within the component. Now I see segments, duration, class name, and I think, tuple for pattern matching. I mean, interesting. I mean, it's not pattern matching, but it is destructuring of an object in this context. But I'm guessing you're thinking of an Elixir thing. I'm still thinking about doing Elixir for like a Twitch bot. Yep. A Twitch bot and or Discord bot. Destruction is kind of like pattern matching, kind of. I mean, pattern matching, I'm kind of inferring in this context, is like a more powerful version of destructuring. Okay, so I mean, we could do the zoom and the scroll and stuff, but I think the most important thing to do is the segment selection. So let's figure out how we're going to represent that internally, and then we can figure out how to render that and then actually make it happen, like make it selectable. We can get to do at least one of those things. Yeah, so you can do AB and underscore 1, 2, 3. Oh, right. So you have like, yeah, it's kind of like array destructuring. Since TypeScript, JavaScript doesn't have tuples per se, like Python does. But I mean, you can do the same thing, right, with arrays in TypeScript. You just have a square bracket there instead of curly braces. Okay, so we're gonna add some state. We're gonna use another useState hook here. So we're gonna do something like const say selected segment indices. Oh, indices, there we go. That word wrap is kind of awkward here. Let's do this. There we go. Oh, good. So we have, it's an array of number. So we have some data, some state in our component that represents what the selected indices are. How is this component going to communicate to whatever is using it is another question that we need to answer. Like, okay, so we can keep track of the selected indices, but how does whatever is using this know? And probably the easiest thing to do is to have an onChange callback like that. That'll be optional. There we go. And then let's imagine, let's see. How many segments are there here before we get to the big one? 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's say the 5th segment. So we're gonna dump in some big data here to get us started. And then what we want to do is we want to highlight the selected segments. So fortunately we have the index as we're iterating over segments. So what we can do is we can say, hey, oh, hey, Moody Abigail. Hey, thanks for the lurk. Appreciate you coming by. Cool emotes. So we're just going to change the fill, right? So we're going to calculate what the fill is based on whether or not the selected segment index includes the current index. So if it does, we're going to use like a yellow. Otherwise we'll use a blue. Um, there we go. Voila. Now that's not necessarily sufficient. We still have to have the input portion of that to be able to actually add values into selected sigma indices, um, and to call on change, and then the other things that we said we are going to do around zooming in and panning around. But that's going to be after the break. So we'll be back in just a few minutes with some more front end stuff. And depending on how long that takes, maybe we can look at doing some more Rust stuff after. All right, PRB.